Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. I'm the brother Dama Al-Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Right, Lord willing, this is going to be a quick video, but as I was reading this article, I want to show you something that I Googled, and we're going to compare it to see what this situation really truly is. All right, so it says, this is from the Miami Herald. It says, exclusive, hundreds at alligator Alcatraz have no criminal charges, Miami Herald learns. But I'm going to read some of this article, and I'm going to read some other information, and let's compare it to see if what this alligator Alcatraz is lines up with the information that I Googled. So it says here, hundreds of immigrants with no criminal charges in the United States are being held at Alligator Alcatraz, a detention facility state and federal officials have characterized as a place where vicious and deranged psychopaths are sent before they get deported, records obtained by the Miami Herald Tampa Bay Times show. Mixed among the detainees accused and convicted of crimes are more than 250 people who are listed as having only immigration violations but no criminal convictions or pending charges in the United States. The data is based on a list of more than 700 people who are either being held under tents and in chain-link cells at Florida's pop-up detention center in the Everglades or appear slated for transfer there. A third of the detainees have no criminal convictions. Their charges range from attempted murder to illegal re-entry to traffic violations. Hundreds of others only have pending charges. The records do not disclose the nature of the alleged offenses, and reporters have not independently examined each individual case. The information, subject to change as the population of the facility fluctuates, suggests that scores of migrants without criminal records have been targeted in state and federal dragnet to catch and deport immigrants living illegally in Florida. Nationally, nearly half of detainees in ICE custody as of late June were being held for immigration violations and did not have a criminal conviction or charge. According to data from Syracuse University, polls have shown that American voters support the deportation of criminals but are less supportive of the arrest and detention of otherwise law-abiding, undocumented immigrants. South Florida's congressional representatives have called on the Trump administration to be more compassionate in its efforts to round up and deport immigrants with status issues. It says that place is supposedly for the worst criminals in the U.S., said Walter Jara, the nephew of a 56-year-old Nicaraguan man taken to the facility following a traffic stop in Palm Beach County. The list obtained by the Herald Times states that his uncle, Dennis Alcides Solis Morales, has immigration violations and makes no mention of convictions or pending criminal charges. Jara said his uncle arrived here legally in 2023 under a humanitarian parole program and has a pending asylum case. Reporters sent the list to the officials at the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In a statement, DHA Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the absence of a criminal charge in the United States doesn't mean migrants detained at the site have clean hands. Many of the individuals that are counted as non-criminals are actually terrorists, human rights abusers, gangsters, and more. You see what they're grabbing up these people, whether they have convictions or not. This is what they're labeling them. This is what they're being categorized as. And this can be done to any so-called American citizen, man. They can lock you up and just say that, for anything that they could pin on you. They could say that you're a terrorist. They could say that you tweeted something that they didn't like that was terroristic in nature, or whatever the case might be, you see? It says, let me read that again. Many of the individuals that are counted as non-criminals are actually terrorists, human rights abusers, gangsters, and more. And they can say that about any so-called American citizen, especially you so-called Negroes. They can get little Pookie and Tyrone, in the ghetto, and they can deem him to be a terrorist or a right abuser or a gangster or more. And you may not even have any gang banging ties, but hey, they can just throw that on you and be justified in grabbing you up. You see? It says, what was I? Further, every single one of these individuals committed a crime when they came into this country illegally. It is not an accurate description to say that they are non-criminals. McLaughlin said the Trump administration is putting the American people first by removing illegal aliens who pose a threat to our communities, and said 70% of ICE arrests have been of criminal illegal aliens with convictions or pending charges, man. You see how they can just say that and it can stick. And like I said, and pretty soon they're going to be coming for you American citizens that they deem to be terrorists or human rights abusers, gangsters, dissenters. You had something negative to say about this Trump administration. You put a tweet that was negative. You exposed something that they wanted to deem to be fake news or inflammatory or could cause people to riot. Hey, you can be just grabbed up and taken without due process, without trial, into one of these hellish, facilities, man. Now let's see if this lined up with some information I found on Google, right? And I typed in, what is a secret state police? It says secret state police, also known as political police, are clandestine organizations employed by governments to monitor, and intimidate, and suppress political dissent or opposition. Didn't we just see that over there in MacArthur Park? With ICE they had the horses, they had the army trucks roll up, and they just walking through the park, intimidating, putting fear, showing the American people, that this is a police state, man. It says these forces operate outside the normal legal framework and often engage in surveillance, palantir, arrest, and torture to maintain state control. And it says some of the key characteristics: clandestine operations. Secret police operate in secrecy, often employing plainclothes agents and covert surveillance methods. Right? Don't you see all of those ICE agents have their face covers? They don't have to identify themselves. They don't wear badges. They don't have their name on their uniforms. They're just plainclothes agents, doing a job. It says focus on political dissent. Their primary objective is to identify and neutralize individuals or groups perceived as threats to the regime's power and ideology. And right now it's who? These so-called immigrants. Pretty soon that's going to carry over into you American citizens, whether that are born here, as perceived threats. Like I said, whether between tweets, whether you were out there marching in these anti-ICE protests, if you were at those anti-Trump rally protests, hey, they're pinging and dinging and surveilling all of you people that are out there showing your lack of approval of this Trump administration. And now you're all being put inside of this database as a future perceived threat. It says operating outside of the law, secret police often bypass due process, making arbitrary arrests, detaining individuals without trial, and using torture to extract information or instill fear. And who's to say that torture ain't happening in some of these detention centers? Because we don't know what the hell is going on. A lot of these people get grabbed up. They don't have due process. They're not having trials. They're just up and disappeared, It says instruments of authoritarian regimes. It says secret police are a key feature of authoritarian and totalitarian states, which that's what this country is turning into. This is what this New World Order is all about, to bring in an authoritarian and totalitarian state, a technocracy. It says where they play a crucial role in maintaining power through repression and control of public opinion, according to Fiveable. Here we go. Several historical examples. Several notorious secret police organizations have existed throughout history. The Gestapo of Nazi Germany, responsible for enforcing loyalty to Hitler and persecuting Jews, communists, and other perceived enemies. The NKVD, People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, and the Soviet Union, instrumental in carrying out Stalin's Great Purge and enforcing his policies. The Stasi in East Germany, German Democratic Republic, known for its extensive network of informers and methods of psychological harassment. The Genie during the Ming Dynasty in China, bodyguards of the emperor with broad powers to eliminate any threats to his rule. These examples highlight the repressive and often brutal tactics employed by secret police forces in their efforts to maintain state control and suppress dissidents. See? You don't see the the relationship and what's happening here in America compared to this secret state police that is being rolled out on the people. All right, and this is a quick precept on the world. Revelations 2:10. Don't be afraid, in the NLT, don't be afraid of what you are about to suffer. And this is mainly for the elect, because we know some of us are going to be grabbed up by these, by the secret state police. Some of us might be grabbed up and put in one of these detention centers, but it's just going to be for a trial of our a testing of our faith at the end of the day. So it says, don't be afraid of what you are about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you into prison to test you. You will suffer for 10 days, but if you remain faithful even when facing death, I will give you the crown of life. You see? And this is, something that some of us are going to have to endure, being grabbed up and put in one of these situations. But hey, if we remain faithful, if we don't bend, we don't break, we're going to be offering that, when it gets to that level, that MOTB in there. Hey, if we have to go out as martyrs and lose our lives to win Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then that's what it's going to be. But we can see, the parallels between, what these devils are doing and secret state polices of the past, and the comparisons that they have with one another, and what this devil is ultimately doing, man. So hey, it's going to be what it's going to be. We just got to keep the faith, remain faithful, and Lord willing, for part of the elect, man. Hey, we're going to be good either way. So with that, I just wanted to bring that out. Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and to the next one, shalom.